Hey guys, so yeah, I don't know I don't know why I feel like the need to respond to this. Well, being a little bit congested still, I'm fine. I'm over my sickness, but a wee bit congested. So Cleo made a post 11 days after, albeit I made my video, but she's like Cleo video rant in the Big 25. So obviously I see it as first, so I comment. Happy face. Popcorn emoji. Then I comment, BTW, RIP, your digital footprint, because, well, if you watch my video, you can understand everything she's done, including but not limited to saying my final straw was Loki when I was leaving my house and my Christian maid told me to dress properly and to wear the hijab while she claims to be Muslim. And funny enough, she claims to be Muslim, so obviously Muslims should be wearing hijabs. That's just kind of a well-known fact. Even if someone doesn't wear it necessarily properly, it's overall agreed that you're supposed to wear a hijab. She also says she is or not Muslim. Well, so that means she's Sunni. Okay, okay. That's kind of crazy. She also says when a man tells me you're not one of those feminist equal rights people, are you? But I've always believed that aren't equal and that women are better than men. Okay, yeah, no, you're cooked. Anyway, saying she was woke when she defended a black guy. Also another thing. Okay, continuing on, continuing on. Maybe all that maybe she's just trolling with all that, right? Maybe she's just trolling. Maybe she's just trolling. But like, if she was trolling, that'd be great. That'd be fine. That'd be fine. Not like it's not the best look, but like at least she's not saying, "Oh, those are the people that die," right? I mean, there's no way people are still catching COVID in 2025. That's so cringe, bro. Like, bro, that's like what she's saying, and like the way I see it, no. And also, like, people still die from COVID. Okay, okay. Now, okay, maybe you're gonna call me a snowflake. Oh, well, you're a snowflake. Oh, well, she was being a snowflake for falsely accusing Poetry Tricks of being a Zionist for what reason? Exactly. I don't know what his reason. I don't know what her reason was. I forget. But however, a lot of her fans would say, "Oh well, that's okay because yada yada yada." Says who? Pony just disproved that. Y'all are crazy. That's all I gotta say. It wasn't everybody that agreed with her. Some of her own fans took the reality check that she herself sent them. It's like, to be honest, saying catching COVID in the big 2025 or stuff like that is kind of rude. It's a fatal disease. People can die. Some of them got the reality check, and I'm like, exactly. Not gonna lie, I've said worse personally, and that's not something you should be proud of. And it's like, and they're like, okay, buddy, but like, still, some of them understand it. Heck, like besides like one comment like right here, a lot of people that like went and actually watched it, which this guy probably didn't. He's like, ew, you're still doing you still do gotcha in the big 2025. Doesn't sound like someone that actually watched my video, but whatever. Cleo Vio rant takes drag from my cigarette. Now that's something I haven't heard in a long time, a long time. That's kind of neutral, but like, you know,
That's a name I've not heard in a long time. A long time.
at least I probably watched it. And he's like, no, I'm a Muslim, and have you seen her post saying Shias aren't Muslim? Finally, someone who says that's fine, and I totally respect your religion, dude. But these people, see, some of her fans actually took a reality check. However, I don't know if that's a W comment or not. Whatever. I don't really care. I guess it's laughing. I guess I'll just yeah. But some of them actually are so brain dead that it's actually kind of crazy. Bro, literally no one cares about contrabands anymore. Get a life. I don't know. And I'm like, my queen contradicting herself, so I have to defend her by saying he has no life. I'm in high school, blood. I'm not old enough to have that kind of life yet. And then what does he respond? Instead of like trying to stay in the argument, I guess he's like, and using this emoji and this and fire emoji in 2025 is corny as frick. I don't even care about Cleo or stuff. I'm just here to tell you get a real life. You need it. And honestly, okay, that's fair, that's fair, that's fair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Okay, I guess. He says he doesn't care about that. Of course, he responds later, so we get back to that. It's like, it's a gotcha channel. And I'm like, mm-hmm. That's not my problem. That's not my problem with Cleo, actually. My issue is small. I'm just pointing out that she's a troll and being contradictory in my video, which even without my video, I'm sure you can tell. That's pretty straightforward. And not to mention, yeah, she is a troll. However, there's kind of like a level to trolling where it's like, okay, well this level's fine because they're not like harming anyone or wishing death upon anyone that are currently dying. You know, like with COVID, people are actually currently dying with COVID, so it's not something you should joke about. Same way with the flu. You should not joke about someone dying from the flu, like saying catching COVID or catching the flu is an L. That's no. There's a reason you don't say El Bozo whenever someone catches the flu unless you're like in a very strong friend group. You don't say that stuff publicly. That's my point. This is the point. This is a troll. Like actually, if you're annoyed by this, then it's exactly the purpose, the exact definition of a troll. So you're saying it's not too far to go to the extent of saying people dying from COVID, people catching COVID in general is an L take is an L, and that they're cringe for doing that. That's crazy. Okay, thank you for the best egg in my life. No problem. I responded to all of them because honestly, I'm just like that. Most of them didn't respond back. Obviously, I'm just making this video here because, oh my goodness, these two are brain dead. Like genuinely. Anyways, my little rant over. Uh, my last video on Cleo, unless beef really starts to heat up, I guess. But I just felt like I had to make this because genuinely, Cleo is not gonna learn. I made a video to point it out. Her audience is trying to, I guess, hate on me for it. Okay, that's fine. It's the internet. I don't care. But I'm just gonna put it in perspective like this before I end off the video. If something happened to Cleo, like let's say Cleo got insulted, even the slightest bit, these people would definitely say, "Oh well, this person sucks," even though that person is most likely trolling. In fact, we've probably seen that before with. I think Kuiper's done a video on her, and that's exactly what happened to him. Now I could be wrong about that one, but even if I am, that still doesn't disprove my point. That if something happens where a troll comes after her, even the slightest bit amount, they probably would. At least the brain deaf ones like those would probably go like, "Oh, well, that's the worst war crime in the history of ever." In fact, I just criticized her. I wasn't even trolling around. They said I've committed the worst war crime, I guess, in the history of ever. So, brain dead people. Anyways, yeah, I have no issue with trolling. I helped Kuiper with his trolling back in the day, but there's a difference between what Kuiper did, you know, with being a little offensive and very offensive sometimes, and saying, "Oh well, you got COVID in 2025." El bozo, El plus ratio. That's different because if you catch COVID, as depending on what age you are, especially, you have a high chance of death. Elderly people have a high chance of death. And before like this is gonna be last sentence before I go like last sentence. Bella the Wolf was technically a troll. What's your opinion on them? Cleo VO fans. What's your opinion on Bella the Wolf?